some people in the comments are talking about fire Fuller. I don't know why we're there. This is a game that came down to special teams and offense again. I think if we're going to talk about removing a coordinator, we need to talk about Dillingham, not Fuller. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Dillingham needs to go by any means necessary. I'm just saying that again, Florida had a ton of opportunities to blow this game out in their own right, and the defense held firm, holding them to field goals. Florida State had 3 turnovers also. Each team had 3 turnovers. So, Florida State had enough of a defensive performance to win this game. And don't get me started on the lack of the holes, all damn game again. But still, it came down to Florida making plays. They moved from Emory Jones, and that was big for Florida. Is Richardson he's not a great passer. He's 5-7 for 55 yards, but the throws were, you and I talked about it before. Not everything has to be so big play. You keep drives going by making plays, sustaining drives by making good throws, getting the first down on 3rd and 5, making a sound decision, and he did that in the second half for Florida, as well as being a threat on the feet. And it just seems like the team got, as when we see with FSU with Jordan Travis, the team got a little bit more amped up when he was in there at quarterback. So
and I know you.
Go ahead, Steve.
There our defense, even you look at, Pierce had 62 yards and 5.2 average. None of that happened until we gave them the ball on short fields, coinciding with the time that our defense was just gassed and we couldn't get off the field and the offense couldn't stay on the field. And, I think at one point it's we had they had almost 70 plays to our 40 plays. That's a huge difference. And we just don't have the depth on defense to be able to continually play like that and go out and like that. And when that happens, you saw it against BC, you saw it against Miami as well. Our defense will get gassed because we don't have the depth. So if our offense isn't able to stay out there and have some sustained drives.
Here you go. You see that one?
Yeah. 12 out of 15 minutes of the third quarter. Exactly. That's when they got their rushing yards. Because even after that, we regrouped. Offense went out there and had a drive. Defense was able to get a little bit of rest. And after that, they couldn't do it again. Then they had 3 straight 3-and-outs or something like that to finish the game. So, if you want to look at yards per play, we had significantly, and our offense didn't do great, but we had a lot more yards per play than they did.
Florida State still ran for 4 yards a rush. Florida State's defense held Florida to 3 yards per rush. Nothing statistically was really big. Jordan Travis was 18-29. 202, 1 touchdown, not 1 interception, which I don't think was an interception. And then he also had 17 runs for 102 yards. So, again, I think this is a different game if Travis doesn't get hurt. I think Florida State would have been coulda, shoulda, woulda. Do they take advantage of the 3 first half turnovers by Emory Jones, and you have a different game. You just don't know. That's what happens. But the most telling thing for me, Steve, was that Florida State was 5-12 on 3rd down. Florida was 11-19. Yep. So,
it's huge.
The one knock on the defense today was they couldn't get off the field. 3rd and 21. Missed tackles. That 3rd and 21, it's not on Fuller. That's on the execution of the play.
Should have stopped. Should have stopped him for 10 yards.
Yes, they had the guy in front of him. That they did a good enough job to box it in front of him, keep the play in front of him, and stop him for 10 to 12 yards. But I think it was 4 missed tackles I had written down on that play that allowed Davis to get the first down. So, I mean, it's lots of stuff inflicted. Nine penalties again, back to back weeks. Having a mess ton of penalties.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not kid ourselves. This is a very beatable Florida team, but
Yeah,
it comes down to lack of execution and playmaking.
Yeah, the interceptions was just like doing nothing with those interceptions. After that first interception, I was just looking 1st and 10. We commit a 15-yard offensive pass interference penalty. Now we get 1st and 25. Tate Rodemaker does nothing. Next one the next one we actually used, and we went down and got a touchdown. So on the second interception, we went down and got a touchdown, to be fair. And then the next one, it was at the end of the half, and we should have got a field goal out of it. But, Travis tries to get too much when he didn't need that much. And, we get 7 out of those short fields, and their short fields, they get 17. That's a 10-point swing. That's a huge difference there. That in addition with, that 3rd and 21, that kind of stuff, like, it just destroys momentum, and how different is it if we stop them on that 3rd and 21 and they had a 4th and 10, now they punt and, they don't end up, I think they end up getting a touchdown on that drive. Is that, I think it was, and now they don't get that touchdown, So if all those things falls Florida State's way, we get that field goal, we don't throw the interception, don't give up the 3rd and 21. I mean, you're easily looking at like a 10-point FSU win, but none of that stuff went our way. And again, the flip could be said as well. If some of those things go Florida's way that went Florida State's way, you could be looking at a 10-point win as well. But yeah, not having Travis in there on some of those interceptions, like it hurt, because it took us a while to find any kind of rhythm on offense as well, because you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what does Travis got? Is he going to be able to come in and find his rhythm throwing the ball, et cetera? And he was able to eventually. I mean, he had his 3rd straight game over 200 yards passing, so you can't fault him. But not having them for those at the beginning of the game, after that first drive, it hurt.